Shooting on film is a rarity. Starting out, there's a very slim chance that you'll even be on a set with it, unless it's Super 8, maybe 16 if you're lucky. But that doesn't really matter. We can emulate it now, digital is a lot cheaper. However, that doesn't mean that we can't learn about it. And in this series, I look at simplifying every aspect of film stock. Now in the past videos, I've looked at the differences between sizes, how you'd store and transport your stock, the accessories you'd need, the lab process. But in today's video, I want to look at both the color grading, which is different to the lab process, as well as how you'd get started with Super 8 in the simplest way possible. So color grading is a very interesting yet difficult topic to talk about, because unlike now where you can just move a wheel on Resolve and play around with Film Convert, you used to actually have to do it all physically, with chemicals and flashing. Now in the last video I looked at lab processing, which includes bleach bypassing, flashing, but this is different to actually color grading, as when you bleach bypass or flash you are using chemicals to create a certain look rather than just alter the color. So how do you actually do this? Well, by using lights, more specifically, using them with something like a Hazeltine color analyzer, which is a color calibrated monitor that's connected to a scanner, and you would then show an image from a negative and flash a colored light, a mixture of red, green or blue, and then that would allow you to adjust the color and brightness, albeit quite subtly. Now in the 80s there were several different systems, one of which was called DaVinci Classic, and you'll recognise the name because it's now the one behind the powerhouse that is DaVinci Resolve. Now back then the system would cost somewhere in the realm of $800,000, now of course it's free and with free tutorials you can grade your projects to look like film to a very reasonable level. When you color grade film stock now, you can do it how you would with digital, throwing it into a computer and grading there, and we've been doing this since the early 2000s, notably with Oh Brother Where Art Thou, where Deakins had to change the colour of the grass from green to brown, something that couldn't really be done through a chemical process. All in all, I think it's safe to say that even if you aren't a fan of digital, you can't deny that DI in its current stage is the best it's ever been, and the fact you can turn the look of any major camera into any major film stock is incredible. And if you don't believe me, check out Steve Yadlin's website and see for yourself. So what's the best way to get started with shooting film? Well, unless you have thousands to spare on an experiment, Super 8. And sure, it won't look the best, it'll be your first time shooting on film and it's not what you're probably used to seeing, although I think there is a certain charm to it, especially when used properly. But where do you start? Well, I'd head over to eBay and just search for Super 8 cameras. Now personally, I'd recommend an ISO 801 or Canon 518, as these are the ones I'm familiar with. They come with their own lenses, are relatively simple to use, but when it comes to shooting on film, the problem always lies with that, the film aspect. Now, when it comes to finding the film that you want to shoot on, it's best to first decide on what you want, colour or black and white, then decide on daylight or tungsten, which you can decide for yourself by checking out part 1 linked below. Once you figure that out, you can look at the speed you want, and for that check out part 2, although to save you some time, most people just go with 50D, maybe Ektachrome 100D if they can justify it. As for actually buying the stock, Amazon carry it, but they often seem to overcharge, so if you can, find a local shop, or here in the UK we have places like Frame24 which charge much more reasonable prices. And then, you shoot. You can then go to a Super 8 film processing lab, find one near you by searching Super 8 film processing near me, and expect to pay anywhere between £20 and £40 depending on the length of film, wait for your WeTransfer link, and that's it. So hopefully this was helpful of sorts, although I feel as though this series is coming to a bit of an end, as if I were to go further into film stock, it wouldn't be simplified. However, I am going to carry on with the cameras, lenses, and other aspects of filmmaking. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, not if you did, if you have a recommendation for an analysis, leave it down below. Thanks so much for watching, and maybe I'll see you next time. Bye!